This is Mavis. You've heard her bark in the background. Just want to make a facial appearance.
What kind of dog is it?
She's the greatest Maltipoo on the planet. Welcome back. We're excited to be with you today. Today on our show, we're going to jump right back into the 5 love languages and jump into chapter 5, quality time. All right. So one thing to remember, it talks about emotions. Now, if you have emotions, it's important to not judge them, but weight them. So emotions are neither good nor bad. They're simply a psychological response to the events of life. And so he kind of goes through an auditing process of your emotions, and I'll do that. But it's important, like if your spouse is emotional, not to judge that. Just realize that the spouse is, the emotional response is just a psychological response to life events, and doesn't mean it has an angle or doesn't mean that it means something. Now, sometimes it can, right? Sometimes in a toxic exchange, emotion is used to manipulate you. So it's important to understand the difference. But if your spouse is sincere, loving, and kind, and you know that, you don't necessarily have to worry about that, and don't get triggered by the emotion. If your spouse is toxic and evil, or toxic and really just horrible, then the emotionality is meant to create an emotional spark in you, and in controlling them. And just so when that spark comes up, in order to keep your composure, you just realize that's a natural response to what's going on physiologically that's happening, and don't judge yourself for that. But stay calm, stay in control, and don't fight emotionally.
Yeah, which was where the break comes in. If you need to take a break, take a break. And lots of times, like I don't know. Once you can calm the emotions, then you can have a rational, productive conversation, rather than if it's built all on emotion, then you're just going at each other and you get nowhere.
All right. So he talks about 2 different personality types in quality time: the Dead Sea personality type and the Babbling Brook personality type. The Dead Sea, it's in the Middle East. The Jordan River flows into it. The reason it's called the Dead Sea is because basically the Jordan River water goes there to die. It doesn't flow out of the Dead Sea. And so the water comes in, there's no outlet. And so over time, the water will evaporate due to vapor pressure, sunlight, heat, all things. And you lose water, and you end up leaving all the salts and all the other minerals behind in the water, and making it to where it's hard for things to grow and thrive. And so they die there. And so a personality that is receiving all the time, but not giving, the Dead Sea personality, consequently the Babbling Brook, which of course you've probably already correctly identified as my personality type. Yep. Like I don't quit. Like so blah, 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 blah. Right. Just so, anyways, we are influenced by our personality, but we do not have to be controlled by it, is the reason why he brought this up. So you can control your personality type. If you are the Dead Sea, you need to talk more. You just do. Your spouse needs you to. If you're the Babbling Brook, you need to shut up and listen. What else you got, babe?
Yeah, I highlighted that same thing, like all of that, because that's us. I
need to shut up.
Well, and I need to talk more. Like that is a large part of our dynamic. So anyway,
quality activities. You got anything on quality activities?
No, I didn't, because I feel like I don't feel like that's a problem.
Quality activities.
No, it's not a problem for us. I feel like we are very intentional about having time together and
picnics.
We love picnics with mosquitoes and flies, baby.
Yeah, we do. With no complaining.
It's like, did we go to the manure pile for this picnic or what? Wait, you're not supposed to comment. Wait, that was an example of what not to say. I'm full of those.
He's learning.
Anytime you need an example of what not to say, just hit me up. I got them on the fly, like a lock. I highlighted one of the byproducts of quality activities. They provide a memory bank from which to draw through the years ahead. So we can, I think, certainly that can resonate with us when we think about, our trips to different places and the fun we had. We've had multiple amazing experiences in San Diego, for instance, or Florida. Our most recent trip to Santa Maria Island Right? That was just like one of the greatest vacations we've ever had. And it was just you and me. Mm-hmm. It was fantastic. And it was right around the time of our honeymoon. And it was just perfect.
Yeah.
It was sweet, romantic. She acted like she loved me again. No, that was just
Once
for
again,
humor.
What not to say.
That was for humor.
Nails it every time.
All right. So in the synopsis of chapter 5, quality time, number 1, some couples are together a lot more than others. If that's the case for you, don't try to make all your time together quality time. Designate specific times and places for planned togetherness. Number 2, ask your spouse for a list of activities that they would enjoy doing with you. Number 3, one way to share quality time at a distance. So if you have a long distance, husband's away from work, business trip, deployed to a different country, those types of things. So one of the ways of that is to include your spouse in your day as it's happening. So send a photo of something you saw on your walk, or relay a funny incident that happened in a meeting. And this is one lady said, my husband sent a photo of him, my daughter, and the dog sitting on her front porch. I was at work and it made me feel like I was hanging out with them. So just try to make sure you include them in your day in some way.
And it's just a simple thing to do, even just on a normal basis, even if you don't have distance between you, but just to like, hey, the kids did something cute, and just send a picture to your spouse or whatever. Like, I love hearing about things that happen.
Or if your husband's at work and you're getting ready, send him a picture in your bra. It's freaking awesome.
There you go.
He will thank me for that, and you. Okay.
He will thank me for that.
He will thank you more.
Lonnie, thank you so much.
Think of an activity your spouse enjoys. Again, sex, but which brings little pleasure to you, which hopefully isn't sex. All right. So, for example.
Okay, just so you know.
So Gary Chapman didn't say anything about sex in that sentence. His sentence was, think of an activity your spouse enjoys, which my brain, and then, but which brings little pleasure to you, which, again, my brain extrapolated. So you need to think of an activity that your spouse enjoys, but which brings little pleasure to you, right? So crafting, nature photography. Yeah, tell your spouse that you're trying to broaden your horizons and would like to join them in these activities sometime this month. So, Meredith has been a freaking trooper. And one time she's like, how is it possible that football is on all of the time during football season? I don't know. You watch, you got Sunday night, you got Sunday football, multiple games, you record them, right? Monday night football, right? And then the games you didn't watch on Sunday, you can watch Tuesday and Wednesday. And then you got ESPN for Thursday. And then there's college games sometimes Thursday nights.
There's Thursday night football now.
There's Thursday night football in the NFL.
All the time.
And then now the Saturday, and then you got the Saturday games. You got college all day long. I mean, you got date night Friday. I don't see the problem.
Well, thankfully, like you used to watch football a lot more than you do now. Where I don't know, you don't just sit. I mean, you will watch a game now and then.
Well, when I was playing fantasy football, I had to keep up on a lot more things. And then when I really got busy enough to where I could no longer feasibly play fantasy football because I was spinning too many plates already. And that was just a distraction from the goods. So I had to give up my fantasy football addiction.
I'm still addicted.
It's pretty good. It just took too much time. Like I got to the point where I wasn't able to keep up with the waivers wires. And when somebody got dropped, like I didn't know if they were a good player or not. Like I didn't know. Anyways. All right. So number 5, plan a weekend getaway just for the two of you sometime within the next 6 months. That sounds like a long time to give it. I would recommend, this is Lonnie talking, every month you should have a weekend getaway with your wife. If you can. If you can't, you should at least be going on date nights, at least every other week. I think once a week best. So once a week, go on a date. Once a month, have like an overnight, just not a crazy week. And you can camp in your tent in the backyard for however much it costs you to buy a tent. You can use that tent over and over and over. It doesn't have to be expensive. You can even have that be at home, and I've done this to where I have made and served a wonderful candlelit dinner in our bedroom. And then we had dessert on our back table, and it was Nutella toast and strawberries. It was delicious. And
it's fabulous.
And then we just listened to music and watched music videos and had a nice night in our room. But that could also be a date night too. But I would recommend weekly dates. If you can, once a month, overnight activity. And then once a quarter, go somewhere with your spouse. Mm-hmm. Now, if you have children, you need to figure out how to fit that into that. instead of that. You need to fit that into that.
Right.
Why do you suppose that's important, love?
Well,
Or why do you feel that's
I mean,
important?
as parents, you that's your obligation, right? You've got to have a healthy relationship between your spouse, and you have to still be parents. You can't just forget you have children and just run away all the time.
I'm a better parent when I feel loved by my spouse. I'm a better parent when I'm not coming home and insecure about my relationship with my wife. And if I feel more loved, respected, it just gives me that mojo where I'm better at everything. And I'm better at being a parent.
Yeah, I think everybody feels that way. And sometimes it's hard to recognize, I don't know, when you're short with your kids, maybe the underlying reason where that's coming from.
Most of the time when I'm short with anybody in the house, it's because I'm frustrated about something external.
Yes.
Almost always.
That's, yeah.
The problem is
true.
they don't see that. They just know dad's a jerk. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dad's ticked off. That's all they get, unfortunately. And it's not fair and it sucks, but that's the way it is. Like, I don't know.
Well, and that's something that's good to recognize too, that I've noticed that you have really tried to work on that and realize I'm feeling super emotional, whatever, and you do whatever to help yourself calm down and then come back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Grateful you said
Thank
that.
you.
No, I'm just glad. I'm just glad to see that you've observed that. Thank you.
Well, yeah.
All right, number 6. See the magic already happens. Number 6. Make time every day to share with each other some of the events of the day. When you spend more time watching the news than you do listening to each other, you end up more concerned about the Middle East than you do about your spouse. Or when you spend more time on Facebook than you do listening to each other, you end up more concerned about your hundreds of friends than about your spouse. That reminds me of a joke about flies. I probably shouldn't tell. Okay.
Squirrel.
You're right. All right. 7. You have 2 chores. Wait, you have to. It's number 7. You have to do chores anyway. So talk as you dust, declutter as you do laundry. It will make the work go faster. Jeez, I don't like that one because I hate doing stuff like that. But my wife has expressed, and I need to be better at folding the laundry with her, doing things with her, doing acts of service for her, which I do believe that is not the next love language. It's coming up, though, in a future episode. Number 8, read the travel section of the Sunday paper together and dream out loud about places you'd like to go. Do you know anybody that still gets the Sunday paper?
I don't.
All right.
How old is this book?
Right.
I think it's pretty old. That is a fantastic question. Let us
90s?
Let us look at things. 1973 was the first time it was put
73
out.
in the 90s.
This version was released in 2011.
So how would you reword that for now?
Judas, I don't know. Look at travel websites. Watch the Travel Channel.
Yeah.
We like to watch food stuff. Like, we're foodies.
Yeah.
And so we like to watch diners, dives, and diners, dives, and drive-ins.
Guy Fieri?
Yeah. And then we've been to one that was featured in Wyoming. We just went to one the other night. Lenny's here in Phoenix was on there.
So good.
And fantastic. One of the best greasy burgers. I think that is I-17 in Bell. It's I-17 in Glendale. I-17 in Glendale, if you're in the Phoenix area, it is west of I-17 on Bell Road, just less than a block on the south side of the road. Huh? What?
Don't go alone if you're a woman.
Yeah, it's not
scary.
in the best part of town, but those
Great
burgers
food.
are if you want a nice greasy diner burger, man, it is just hits the spot. It's fantastic. We should be food critics, bro. That's where we should take this thing.
Hey, there's
Food
another
critics.
one.
Hey, that'd be fantastic.
There's another spot.
You guys want us to food critic any restaurant for you, critique any restaurants, just let us know. We'd be happy to go check it out.
No doubt.
Anyway, all right, that pretty much concludes chapter 5. Last time we got through 3, only got through 2 this time. That might mean that's part of our core languages here. We're starting to jump into if something starts standing out to us more than others. But nevertheless, anything else you want to add?
No.
Or
I
close
think
this
that
out?
was good.
Well, it was lovely having your contribution today. Thank you.
Thanks.
You
Dave.
finally get to talk about it.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah, I know. Goodness. Oh, it's that's why we went way past our timelines, is because I guess this release, the pent up, I can't wait to talk about this. All right. We hope you enjoyed listening. Again, we want you to clickety click, do your part. We'd ask you to subscribe, like, and share this with people. If you found value today, the people you like in your circle and network will most certainly find value as well. We appreciate all you listening. We appreciate you being here, babe. looking so fantastic and creating so much great content for our listeners. And we appreciate you. And we'll see you again next time on The Value Script.